Now, this budget is set to be a penny pincher for many, with some families up to $11,000 a year worse off.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of reports about it. We're not sure exactly what it entails, but for a preview of what we can expect from tomorrow night's budget, we're joined now by financial expert Scott Hayward, who's in Melbourne. Scott, so much speculation about this. What can you tell us about the astonishing figures that are out this morning?
Yes, good morning, guys. Well, in the old days, we used to look forward to budget night, especially us finance geeks. We used to maybe get a baby bonus or a first homeowner's grant, so it used to be like grand final eve. Then it sort of changed into a bit like MasterChef, where you didn't know what was going to end up on your plate, but you hope it tasted good. And tomorrow night, we're probably heading towards that first week of The Biggest Loser, where we're sort of on the scales and told to ship up or shape out, I suppose you can say, or just lose a little bit and get a little bit leaner. And that's unfortunately what's going to happen not only to single parents, but it's going to happen across the board. I suppose the three things that aren't going to happen, which is important for many families, is that there's going to be no change to GST tomorrow night, which is important. That still sits at 10%. There'll be no change to superannuation. So if you put money into superannuation, you're still taxed at 15%, and from all accounts, there'll be no change to the childcare rebate. That means if your child goes into a childcare centre and they're eligible for a rebate, which is not means tested at the moment, they'll still get the 50% rebate. So that means if you're putting your child in childcare, it might cost about $90, you'll probably get about $40 to $45 back. So they're the three winners. Other than that, it's unfortunately where's the losers. We're going to be hit with a what you could call a deficit levy, and I think that's going to happen now to people who are earning more than $180,000 only, which won't affect that much of the population, but that will be around about 2%. You're also going to see a lot more things means tested. Family benefit Part A and Part B will be merged into around about $100,000 for a means test. So there's going to be a lot of reform and a lot of changes. So it's a little like put the seatbelt on and strap in for a tough night tomorrow night.
Scott, can you just clarify a few things? We had an economist last week saying actually the economy is okay right now. The government's going too hard on this budget. Do you believe that, or do you think we need to kind of take this pain now so we're better off in the long term?
Well, look, some of the numbers that have been thrown around is that we won't actually get back into surplus until 2023, 2024. So you can't say it's too hard at this stage. Obviously, in the first term of a government, you do start to put the handbrake on and do some tough policies. And I think you could say at this stage that yesterday, or may have even been Saturday, that Tony Abbott released that they're going to put a freeze on, I think you could say, all politicians' salaries from the 1st of July 2014, trying to get, I suppose you could say, some of the marketing or a little bit of lure back to the public eye to say, look, we're going to do it tough as you guys do it tough. But from a point of view of whether it's that tough a budget, I don't think it'll be as hard. The big thing that's going to hurt, I suppose you could say, politicians will be the petrol excise. I think that's almost a certainty as well. We'll be paying a little bit more for petrol, which will be indexed with inflation, which shouldn't be too much of a problem for most people. But people are still doing it tough across Australia at the moment. Still. And the other thing as well that's going to happen is we're going to see public servants losing their job. There's been rumour that the Australia Post will be sold. We've already heard that Medibank Private will be sold. And this morning we've heard that the Royal Mint will be sold. Now that'll bring in, they are speculating somewhere between $500 to $1 billion, not excluding, I suppose you could say, some money that comes in from the tax saving, but also not paying some people that might be losing their jobs. So it's going to be tough for public servants going forward.
Scott, just talk to us very quickly about the fuel excise. A lot of people are saying that it's fairly arbitrary, that it's going to hit everyone, it's unfair. What's your response to that?
Look, I think a fuel excise, if it's done with inflation, then it's just it's a run-of-the-mill tax. I suppose you can say people are going to have to maybe look at other options, like it'll affect diesel, it'll affect gas, it'll affect leaded and unleaded. If it's done with inflation, it's not too much of a problem. The thing that I'm more concerned about, I suppose you could say, is that there's going to be no marginal tax rate changes. In fact, there's going to be an increase. Back in the 90s and even the 2000s, we got used to getting some money back. I think even Kevin Rudd even gave us a cheque back about $600 if you weren't under $80,000. All those days are gone. So I think we're just going to have to wear a bit more per petrol. With our high dollar though, petrol will come down, so keep that in mind.
Scott, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Much appreciated.
Thanks, guys.
I'm not looking forward to Tuesday night. I just think it's going to hit people really hard.
You're going to have like a get-together or a party and watch the budget?
Bit of a budget night, with my little notepad with all the analysis.
It's printed up already, is it?
Yeah, they have a bit of a lockdown tomorrow afternoon where all the journalists go in there and they've started printing it up, little budget book, and they go through it all in Canberra.
Officeworks, you think they went?
I don't know where they print it.
Okay.
There's been cutbacks with the printing.